What's going on, Cowboy Nation? It's your boy Ken here. Just want to talk about the Cowboys right now. Today is, as you know, DeMarcus Ware, 7-year, um, 7-time all Pro Bowler, 9 years with the Cowboys is ended today. He's been released. He's been cut from the Dallas Cowboys. Reason is because he wouldn't take a pay cut. He was due $16 million for this coming season, but he had 2 years left on his contract, which is a total up to $28 million. Basically, what he was trying to do is at first he was okay with the pay cut. That was when he said right after the Eagles game in Week 17 this past season. But then the next day he came out and said no, he didn't mean take a pay cut. He'd rather do a restructured deal. Kind of made things in an uproar, especially with the Cowboys like pulling teeth. Nobody wasn't expecting this really. To me personally, I knew it was going to happen. I had a feeling it was going to happen. It was going to happen because of the simple fact that this defense has been dragging here in the last 2 years, really. Year and a half, actually. Not able to get the pressure on the quarterback, really, especially last year. They didn't have the depth that they need. And that was the whole purpose behind the pay cut, basically. It just, to get more guys in here that can back him up and back up other players like Jason Hatcher, or, if Anthony Spencer does resign, or just like Hatcher or whatever, to beef up that D-line. But, the Cowboys just basically said, see ya. A lot of people are, and it's funny, I go on Twitter and I look on Facebook and everybody keeps blaming Jerry Jones, this and that, whatever. It wasn't Jerry Jones' decision. It wasn't his. It was Stephen Jones that made the decision to do this. If it was Jerry Jones would have kept him. If he made that decision, he would have done that. But he didn't do it. That's why it's so hard for Jerry Jones to probably maybe pull the trigger. He probably want to get rid of him, last year, after last season. But the simple fact that DWare has been hurt, his production wouldn't have been as promising like it was before, where he would usually get double-digit sacks per season. He only had 6 this year. Last year he only had, I want to say, maybe about 8. 2011 he had I think he had 19 and a half sacks. That's how many sacks he had. And people forget about that. People forget that you can't just look at because he was a cornerstone of the franchise. It's not about that. And in this day and age, it's not about that anymore. It's not like players are going to stay with that same team their whole career. They're not going to do that because guys want to get paid. And it shows right there that DWare, if he actually cared about getting his team to the next level, he would have took a pay cut, but he didn't want to. He didn't feel obligated to. Because maybe in his mind, he's probably like, you know what? I've been the cornerstone of this franchise for so many years. I've been doing this. I done that. I done put fear in a lot of teams. I done, got out the guys and made other players better around me, or whatever the case may be. He felt that he deserved that money. But in the last 2 years, man, really most times, because he had a elbow injury or he had a problem with his shoulders, neck problems. He had stingers. He had quad problems. You name it all. And then for him to be at the age 32, that's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it at all, because one thing about it, if you look at what it is today, it's all about what have you done for me lately. That's the whole stamp of everything. What have you done for me lately? What have you done that proves that you're worthy? That's just like people title, well, not title, but they kind of, the conversation of Tony Romo being an elite quarterback, and they say he's really not because he hasn't won a Super Bowl. That's one of those reasons. But DWare had a hell of a career, with the Cowboys. I want to say he had like 117 sacks in 9 years, which is pretty good. That's the team league, all-time career sack leader. It's just unfortunate. It's a business. It's all about apples and oranges. It's a numbers game. It's just like, you expect this certain store to have this certain type of same quality that you had with this certain product that you had, and you go to this store and you try to find the same thing, but you can't find it. But you got to try and find something that's up to its level or even better and stuff. That's one thing that people got to understand. People always saying, well, maybe, Jerry Jones. I'm like, look, this Jerry Jones crap, whatever, and stuff like that, it's getting old. You got to understand. Jerry Jones is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and a lot of people got to realize that. And I'm not taking up for the man, and I'm really not. It's the facts. The facts is that that Jerry Jones he is the man. He's the number one man in this organization. General manager, president, owner. That's his title. Period. But like I said, he didn't make the decision this time. This was his son, Stephen Jones, and maybe they see something that they going to replace with DeMarcus Ware. But like I said, that defensive side of the ball had to get help. Real talk, they had to do something. And what they're going to do is, I'm sure, like, they're going to look really hard at what they do, especially going within the next, month and a half from now, because the draft is in a month and a half. I'm sure they've been doing a lot of scouting. Of course, they've been to Combine. They've been looking at a few players. One from Pitt, I can't remember his name. Somebody said they were looking at Javon, dude from South Carolina. They was looking at him, and they was looking at some guy from Minnesota to be on that D line. But you got to beef it up. You got to beef up the D line. You got to get it. You got to get it to the point where it's going to cause havoc on a lot of offenses. Going forward. And you got to start off fresh. And if a guy is not there 100% of the time, not even 70% of the time, he don't belong there. Yeah, the Cowboys, they could have kept him, but what could have you done to get better by keeping a guy that hadn't had no more than 8 sacks in a single season since 2011. This is 2014 here. And he's 32 years old. And he done had shoulder problems. He done had quad problems. You name it. He wasn't at 100% at all. And that's one thing that people have to understand. But people don't want to listen. They just want to point the finger. And that's why I get sick and tired of some of these Cowboys fans here. And I'm not going to mention no names. But a lot of you that always fussing and bitch and gripe about all this and that, come on. It's a business. It's a hit and miss business. Either you're going to hit the jackpot or you're not. That's part of life. It's part of life. You just got to realize it. It sucks, but it is what it is. You got to understand. You have to understand that that's how it is. Now see how you be in this situation where you try to, be a general manager and trying to control, a 53-man roster and know what player to keep and not to keep and what to pay him, what's his due day, or what's his payday, what he should get, what he's entitled to. There's a lot of things that go into it. It's a lot of things. A lot of things. You know, you got to think about his family. You got to think about his personal health. You got to think about his mind, you know, mentally. But then also at the same time, you got to look at your team. You got to look at your team, what's its needs. What's more important right now? Is it about ego? Is it about this guy should get paid more just because that he feel that he's entitled? Or you can use some of that money to go out and get more guys under that, you know, under that certain weight, that money weight where it can be doable for us. Yeah, it's going to be a huge hole missing on that side, but where there's a will, there's a way. So, shout out to everyone out there. You know, it is what it is. Y'all gotta understand, it's a numbers game with this, you know, with this free agency, and best of luck to DeMarcus Ware wherever he goes. Hell, he might come back with us. Who knows? So, that's all I got. And another thing, Miles Austin will be released after June 1st. He will be released. Yeah, he'll be released and stuff. So that'll put the Cowboys under, I forgot how much. I forgot the cap room. But the Cowboys fans should be happy that this is what's going on. Because what it does is you don't have to worry about, like, what if, you know, DeMarcus Ware gets hurt again? What if this? What if that? For the last, you know, couple of years, whatever, we've been wondering what not Miles Austin. Yeah, just like with Miles Austin coming back from his hamstring problems that it keeps lingering. And we kept holding on to him for so long. He was missing games too. And a lot of people keep forgetting about that, you know? But you got to it's not about just getting young. It's all about getting knowledge to the point where you got to get guys in here that's going to do the job for you. That's going to get you to the next level. So I just wish, you know, it'd been nice that he was here. He could have took the pay cut, but he didn't. He knows the business. So y'all take it easy out there.